Well, good evening and welcome to today's edition of RiverSide Talk. It is the Twah River platform. We are here again with another edition, and I want to send this caveat out there. Facebook, we own no copyright to music that we play on this platform. Absolutely no copyright. Let's take our music, and then we'll dive into today's discussion.
Mommy, mama, so sweet. Me don't have me so never.
Well, folks, we want to say thank you to you all, and thank you for following. Those of you that are watching, want to say thanks. Please follow, like our page, and share to your follower too as well. It is the Twah River TV, and we are here again with another edition. It is the Riverside Talk, and like we always say, at the Riverside we meet and discuss, and iron out things. And that's why we are here again tonight with another edition of the Riverside Talk. As our one of the popular music in my call his own name, so one time when I visited Liberia, this music was, every corner you pass in Liberia, especially in Nima, every corner you hear the music playing his own name. So now it became it kind of like when something happened, then somebody said his own name. I'm like, I thought this thing was just a music, but it has transformed into another thing that people would just be saying everywhere around the corner. Any corner you pass, something hidden said his own name. The other one, even if you stomp your toes, his own name. I was like, is that this guy music? The music itself is it has a very good meaning. All in all, is just talking about, being good, but if you decide to do bad thing, whatever you plan for somebody else, it will come to you. Like in the other word, we say, I jump over it, or maybe Holy Ghost fire, we fire on Holy Ghost fire to somebody. That's it. Definitely, that's what it means to say. But folks, I want to say thank you to you all. I'm here. I'm here tonight, and then with my co-host Jason Zuo. We are here, and then it is the Riverside Talk. We will be diving into a discussion here tonight, which has to do with the mob violence. Mob violence. You know, we, especially we Liberians, we have not welcome Jason. The issue of mob violence taking laws into our own hands in Liberia, it is becoming unbecoming these days. You know, instead of us addressing issue whenever things happen, instead of us addressing issue, let's say to allow law to deal with issues, we take laws into our own hands, and then the mob violence, we engage into that. I was taken aback yesterday morning when I came across a video that was circulating on Facebook, and that video, there was a guy who was beaten, severely beaten by a gentleman. And according to the story, this guy, stole from them. And the first thing that ran through my mind is that if indeed this guy stole from you and you apprehended him, why can't you turn him over to authority? Why can't you turn him over to police? And you had to beat on somebody to that extent, of with bruises and everything, and not just beating, ordinary beating, but you beat on him with, quote unquote, I think they said it was wire. These are things that is presenting a negative image about Liberia, because these days we all got smartphone, and when things happen, instead of us getting into it to try to stop it, we grab our phone and record those events. And I think it's about time we have a second thought whenever things are happening. What can we do, and how can we create those awareness about mob violence and letting law to deal with those issues? Welcome to the show, Jason. Let's hear you. What's your take on the discussion here tonight?
Okay, thank you very much. See you, and from my end, let me say good morning, and while you're watching, good evening, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the Riverside Talk on the 31st day of May 2026. So thank you for the conversation this evening. Uh, these are some of the major issues that we are faced with in the contemporary war, especially in the technology war, as relates to more violence. Because issue like this is normally happening in Liberia and some part of the world. People will see glaring fact that somebody's been beaten, going through torture, but people will not get involved.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you want to do is just to take off their phone and start recording. The time you take into record, why you can't get yourself involved, you can't intervene into the situation. If you're really talking about watch a video, I could not use a go far, or I was like, I don't know, I couldn't see how bad I can manage my emotions because I'm very sad. So why I say that you will be beating on someone like that, and people are all standing, they are not getting involved, but they are just there recording. Recording to do what? Do you want for the person to die before you get involved? Normally, most of the things I will see on Facebook, like someone beating on somebody, or you see two-person fighting, everyone is sitting or standing looking. The only thing they will do is, because we are in a technology world, just take their phone and record. and you see the video go viral, so everyone will be sharing it. Those are bad things. I think we need to get involved to tell the people that this is not the only way to handle issues. Why will you be beating on someone just because of one or two issues? And people are standing, they are not even getting involved to say, hey, stop beating this person. That's something that the government need to look into. The gentlemen are very, very beating severely. I spent my informations. Those guys that are involved have been arrested and they'll go through police interrogations.
Yes, I applaud the police for arresting those guys, but the issue here is that I think the awareness, um, other people are not aware of how to intervene when those situations arises, and even if somebody is an ardent criminal, that person still have his or her right, no matter what. That's the law. And the basic human right is very important. The best thing you do as a citizen is when you arrest those people, turn them over to authority. Authority will deal with them. But you citizen to arrest somebody and then start to beat on him or her like what happened. Uh, I think it was Thursday. What happened was very much disheartening. And to my understanding, the main perpetrator, the guy that was beating him, the guy is on the run. Those guys with the that was recording and the people that was standing by were the individual that the police arrested them. And I think it should send a warning signal to us Liberians that it's not all about just grabbing your phone to record, but you can also help to stop those, mob violence. You can also say, hey, gentlemen, listen, let's take the man to police. That's the best thing we can do to take him or her to the authority. The authority will deal with the person. The person goes to jail, and then the case will be adjudicated. But you can't just say, I will beat this person. Even if you quote unquote that man is a Zogo. He's a Zogo, but he still has life. He's moving around. He's still entitled to his basic human right. But you can't, you can't do those things. I think the issue of awareness, about this mob justice, it needs to be, well addressed to the public, especially us Liberians. You remember anything, we still have the stigma. We still have a stigma, the stigma of violence still exists among us. It's something that we need to, try to do away with it and try to engage issue whenever it arises. We allow law to deal with issue. So, I mean, we are the youth. We are the generation. If we can't get the actual picture now, and if we pass by us to get to the next generation after us, I mean, I'm afraid we might be diving into another bigger picture. Let's hear you.
Yeah, that's right, CEO. The issue is clear because if you look at some of those pictures that can be circulating on Facebook, even those that want to get involved and people that are standing back recording, they'll prevent them from getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
Say, no, leave them, let them fight. Leave them, let them fight. Yeah, because they want to get framed. They want to, I don't know, they want to get followed or they want to get too, I don't know. Because if you look at some of those videos that can be circulating on Facebook, majority of those people that can be around, they will just be standing. They don't want for anyone to get involved. They want to record for public to look at them. I don't know for what reasons. So I think those are arrested, whether you were standing, and for me, in my understanding, it's like you supported a crime. The fact that you stand and somebody is violating someone else's right, beating someone to like squarely to death without you getting involved, that means you one way or other in support of that, you should be arrested. You support that crime. So I don't think it's good in our community that we all stand and see issue of that happening, violence, someone beating on someone because one way or other person stole. If you in Monrovia, it just hear the walk rule. Everybody want to kill that person. whether the person what the person says is true or it is false, because most of those cases are death cases as in Liberia. Some are attributed to the war. Just somebody just saying you are rogue. Whether it's in the night, someone just say you rogue, people will not investigate. Everyone are just living their real houses with weapons and any other thing they take. They are just going to hit on you that. So I think we need to desist from the mindset that someone is just going to kill someone without doing the investigation. Even say you investigate all the person is wrong, you are not the right person to take decisions. The law should take echoes instead of you beating someone because you one way or other allege the person was stealing from you.
Yeah, the law should take law should take it course. That's the rightful thing. But I think it has become a normal issue now in Liberia, where we think that quote unquote the police will not do anything or the law will not do anything. So therefore, we have to take the matter into our own hand, which I think is wrong. And from where I sit, I work in a law enforcement agency. And whenever issue arises, even if you are around and you are not a responder and you fail to, act, all right, you will also get disciplined. You will definitely get disciplined because even no matter what, even if you see your fellow, personnel doing something, you got to get involved and say, hey, step back. If you see the tension arising, hey, step back, let me take over. Or maybe you see that your fellow officer is having issue with another person, another civilian, you got to step in and help. But if you stand and wait and things escalate and maybe goes beyond other issue, you yourself will be, question why did you were there? Why didn't this? Why you couldn't step in? Why you couldn't intervene? So, the awareness of us not, I think is very much important that we begin to let our public know that, hey, it's not all, it's good we have internet to have footage of those things, but all the recordings you're doing is sending negative signal. You're standing right there. Why can't you intervene? And then they'll be loud saying, y'all need anything for you, go ahead and for saying y'all can't hear. Man, that is not that is not well, it is not how society works. If you have issue with another person, let the law come in. Here, from where I sit, child can sue their parents. Brother and sister can take one another to court. I tell you, even 100 things that 120 siblings can sue one another for it. Even if your mom or your papa credit 100 for you, they want to pay, you can take them to court. The small clean court. They said my mom owe me and they refuse to pay. And then judge will ask, and if based on the circumstances, if it is true, if it is established, you'll be able to pay back out of your child money. That's their society. I'm not saying we should practice that in Liberia, but the issue of letting law to deal with issue is very much important in our society. And the next thing here is, for us Liberians, what I've observed is that, especially in Liberia, when things happen, we, get into it at that particular moment and make it look very much, active. We are into it, but after a certain time, we let it slide down. That has to do with saying no to drugs. For 2025, all through, this was the song that people sang everywhere in Liberia. But as it stands now, that song is going down. The zeal that people brought in to fight illicit drugs in Liberia, that zeal is dying down gradually. And that's how we forget. Those guys, our brothers and sisters, they are disadvantaged youth. They are still, some of them are still on it. And I think the issue of, providing those awareness is not just one day thing or a seasonal thing. It should be something that we should always talk about, that the public will be aware. Man, you don't know how drugs are transported around the world. You don't know. The very airport we have, I can always say that airport is still vulnerable when it comes to the way things are done to that airport. And if we are actually serious to fight the issue of drugs in Liberia, we should start from that entry point. I see the other borders that car can enter. I seen it. We got immigration and thing. But that airport we have, I see it. There where we need to actually tighten the belt at the airport. Because mind you, those things can come in and the way in which people travels with those things. Even the very vehicle that pass through checkpoints. These days, what people do is they will blow off the tire and cut it and put those drugs in it and move around with it. The very seat that somebody is sitting on, drugs can be in those seat. So it's very important that we're talking about awareness. We have to always be letting the public know this is what is happening, this is why it shouldn't just be a one-day fight. So what to you, Jason?
So the issue about drugs is something that is alarming in Liberia. Why it's true the government is fighting the drugs one way or the other, but the campaign of drugs for me in Liberia, I see like some group of people want to be known by the public, and they put some resources and recruit some youth onto the street to parade with fight against drugs. And once they get the popularity, they are done, and everything is okay. And the next issue have to do with the fighting of the drugs from the airports. You must say no. You cannot be paying a T officer 200, 300 when somebody want to bribe you with 1,000, 2,000 just within a 1 hour issues. What you expect that D officer to do? Will allow for free entries. If you have a very good security system, you pay them good money and you pay them on time, I think you'll be able to execute that job effectively. But the fact that you are not paying them good money and the money that you are paying them is not coming on time, these things are all contributing to the compromising of drugs entering the countries. Well, drugs in Israel is another source of income. People are bringing the drugs into the country that are making huge amount of money. When you look at the people that bring the drugs, majority of those that are taking the drugs, these are all expensive money. I mean, they are expensive drugs. And in my mind, I don't think that just ordinary people taking the drugs. They have big people hands that in the society, in the government too that is taking in the drugs. And most of those issues that happen in Liberia that have to do with drugs, why is true the ordinary people are the one that can be arrested every day? You know myself, I cannot be like there. Some I'm one of the ministers in Liberia. If my car is going to the airport or leaving the airport, nobody is going to inspect it. You come with Arab with let's say Serene or just they put GL. I mean, it's free. You have free entry to go anywhere. So these cars can be used to transport drugs to places and without even say interrogations. So those are some of the issues. If Liberia want to fight drugs holistically, it should not be done by picking and choosing. It should fight as a locally everybody for all sectors. It should not just be based on because the person is not known in the government, not have connections. People who don't have connections are those people that are going to court. And besides, when the cases go to court, people that have influence, it can be free one way or the other to go. But people that don't have, in my mind, is people that don't have like resources or that don't have connection in Liberia. Those are the people that are going to jail. If I have resources and I have a connection in Liberia, I don't think I can go to jail because the fact of the matter there is the resources or the connection will free me. I can do anything in Liberia. Liberia is one of the free countries that you can live in once you have money. There's nothing can interrogate you. Police officers can harass you. When you have resources, definitely they will let you go. But those who are being bars today in Liberia or who are being found guilty in Liberia or our judicial assistance are those who don't have connections, are those who don't have resources. So if a country want to fight drugs or fight crime holistically, the justice should not be pick and choose. It should be like the justice should be a blind soul that should not know big hands, that do not know clean clothes. The justice should be like justice like this one time somewhere to a case they say, oh, the judiciary board, I mean the jurors came, they say somewhere to us not guilty. In my own mind, I'm not a legal person, but those that you said they are guilty, they say it's told you in your ruling, you said they are facilitating the crime. Who committed the crime? And who
That's the question I asked.
who committed a crime before somebody should commit the crime before once facilitate the crime? How can the person that committed a crime is free, then the facilitator are held liable? How do you compromise our rulings? So these are the issues I see in Liberia. Like I said, the justice system in Liberia can see glasses. You can see what kind of code you wear. The justice system in Liberia can see who is coming in the court. And definitely before you enter in the court, you know who will be guilty and who will not be guilty. That's the system we have in Liberia.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the point that the justice system in Liberia is pick and choose. Here, I always give an example from where I sit. You and whether senator or representative, your state senator and representative, you can be in the same traffic going to work, no syringe. No will. Everybody in the same traffic. If police can pull over another police officer, police can pull over another police officer. If another police officer, let's say in my community that there is another jurisdiction, and I see another police, maybe doing inappropriate thing in my community, I can pull you over. Say stop. But that is not the case in Liberia. Once they say they made a government official, whether you represent your deputy minister or you some kind of director somewhere, you go. The thing is, if your job start at 9 a.m., by 7 o'clock, start leaving your house. Start leaving your house to be able to make it on time. But we realize that almost everybody in Liberia, when they go into work, they got syringe, especially those ministers, government. I think that if we decide to do justice to everybody, whether the poor man, a rich man, let's treat everybody the same when it comes to justice. Now, I spoke about the airport. My experience to that airport when I landed was, you have people who are just standing by looking for daily bread. What do I mean? You got people who, before you deplane and go through the immigration checkpoint, you have people by that time they are already load your bags. They are pick those bags, line them up, and then waiting when you can, you be looking. Oh, what's your bag? What's the name on your bag? Oh, I got your bag here, and then they will lower it onto a card and take it outside for you just for you to pay them. That is a breach of security right there. And if I am the manager of that airport, that will cease day one. Because the thing is, if I on a plane, when I land, I'm not seeing my bag until I come to the conveyor belt to pick it up. Let me be the person, even if I have not arrived yet, my bag is there. Let that bag continue to cycle around. I will come and get it. But you don't see that in Liberia, except maybe recently. Because I think since I left, it's been like almost nearly like 2 years now since I left Liberia when I went for a visit. Yeah, it's been 2 years now. Now, except maybe recently it started happening. But you don't see that. You have people lining up to pick your bag and escort you outside. And then when you get outside, then you pay them.
The system to that airport is like, I don't know. At a certain point in time, after I was coming from Nigeria, we go to the airport. In Nigeria, I don't know whether it's a Nigerians or which tribe. That individual have diplomatic passport, but he could not speak Liberian English. The immigration first was saying, "Why you have diplomatic passport? Why like this?" The man could not even speak Liberian English. I don't know a Lebanese man or a Fulham man. But to my ultimate surprise, with all that interrogations, all that one, that's why the guy came. We all came outside together with diplomatic passport. Which of he is not Liberian. How did he got that passport? The system I don't know.
That's why during the former regime time, Liberia was put on a watch list. because our passport landed in the hands of Mexicans, not just ordinary Mexicans, but our passport landed in the hands of those cartels that were under the radar of America. How the hell did we give our passport? We took a Spanish guy, a Mexican, we make the man. We say the man a diplomat in Mexico. You know, so the entire airport, the airport management. I mean, once you are not an employee of that airport, don't venture around the airport. Even the employees, you don't have to circle around incoming baggages or outgoing luggages. No. Let them be the one to handle those things by themselves. If I come in, go through the immigration checkpoint, once I am clear, go pick my bag. The only thing you do is, as those bags are going through, have your, scanner and monitors what is in each person's bags. If a bag takes time to circle once, those bags are suspicious, they will pull them aside and then to see who owns the bag. But you see everybody standing, just looking for daily bread. When I saw it, I'm like, this is not how airport works. For me, I always say from where I sit, you get to the airport, you do everything by yourself. When you get to where you're going, your luggage, no matter what, it take you time to get off the plane and come to where your baggage is. Where they will tell you, go to the baggage area and clean your bag. It take you time, you'll still come and see your bag circling around. If it circles for a long time, they will definitely pick your money and set it aside. And then you will come and pick it up. That's how it works. But for us, I just don't understand. You have people, even to when you exiting, you bring it back. You have people, let me wrap it for you. Come on. There should be a order, but from my experience, because I'm just saying it, literally everybody that I encountered to that airport, they ask for money. Down to immigration officers, they ask for money.
Even if you live how you living on?
How you living on? That was the talk. How you living
how you living on? How you living immigration? No. Liberia is the only country that's giving God hard time.
Yeah, so definitely to fight this issue of drugs. I see the bullet points, I see the various checkpoints, but we have to tighten our security grips at the airport. We are so much vulnerable to those things entering in Liberia on a daily basis. Those some can be caught in Liberia at the airport there. But I tell you, if a very smart criminal who have visited Liberia in the past and seen the security system, they can go to that airport without being detected. Because literally, they might put their bags on a plane and the bag get there. They know that somebody will pick it and land it on the side for them, just for somebody to be able to get it and give it. Somebody pack your bag to escort you. You get there, they already packed. Oh, I can help you outside. From there to go outside and get your car. They look at you and give you maybe $25 or even $50. Your whole head. Next time now you want to deal with that person back. But it is Liberia. We still have work to do when it comes to the issue of fighting drugs. Some of us are not just saying it because we want to talk. I've been around how we tackle drugs. I'm a law enforcement officer. I'm a sergeant. But when it comes to fighting drugs, man, the issue in the great United States that I said, they're still struggling with it. They bulldoze anytime. People use drone. Though I have not heard of drone system in Liberia yet. But when it comes to fighting drugs, Liberia, we're still striving. We're still getting there because the issue of drugs, to fight drugs and eradicate drugs, is a very difficult thing to do. Very tough. Even we see the illicit drugs, but other thing that people don't know, the tramadol, the pain medication, those things can be addicted to. Somebody can just go to Waterside or even any pharmacy or drugstore and say, give me pain medication. One person will stay and buy more than 10, 15 of it. If you are taking that constantly, you get addicted to that. And based on that, you will want to take it every single day. So most of those, they person on drugs, they person, we've seen the worst one, but those pain medication, there are things that people can be addicted to, and then you force into the drug drop. But Franklin, let's hear you. Your network is fluctuating. I know you've been following. What's your take?
Yeah, okay. I'm just coming in. I haven't got details of what is being discussed.
So
But
we are talking about the issue of fighting drugs in Liberia, and I spoke of the airport, how vulnerable the airport is to me, my experiences that I have at the airports where you have people standing. Instead of you being the one to pack or to find your own bag or pick a bag from the conveyor, you have people picking those bags for you and then putting on a cart so that they will get a little thing at the end of the day.
okay, we have discussed this before. Uh, for me, my problem with the security sector of Liberia, most especially the people who handle political issues like police and the LDEA. These people, they are working, but their little thing business is spoiling the good name that they are trying to put forth. There is a community that I know in Masorami, Margibi, but we share a boundary with Margibi.
Mhm.
So these people sell drugs and people smoke in the open, and everyone knows the area to be a drug center. But you will see that the LDA will go there and they have their own interests. These people will go and make arrests and they will carry the people you go look their back in the community. And those who are even selling, as soon as they are arrested, some of them will not even go anywhere because the LDA themselves have already made friends with them. And this is becoming a serious issue in our community, in our society, because law enforcers want to take side. They want to have a cost to be reached overnight. And everything will boil down to the same thing we talk about, increasing the salary of security personnel in our country. If these people are not taking good salary, for example, I heard most of them say they are making $90, they are making $150, or they are making $250. Somebody who is selling drugs that is generating, let's say, for the least seller in the community, they are getting 10,000 per day, 20,000 per day. And if you are making $150, you go in front of the person just give you a cut from what he or she is making, and you now just move on. So Liberia is still vulnerable when it comes to drug something, even though LDEA have made some progress, but yet there's still a challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's still a challenge, and that's what we're talking about. Um, and I get it. The pay system we have, and that's why, like I said the last time, I think our lawmakers, because there's no point one man would just be taking about $1 million budget annually, and another person, uh, 1 point something $1 million budget annually. One lawmaker, speaker, or maybe Senate Pro Tem. Those money we can cut those money down and help to pay our security apparatus. If a security system is not strong, it's easy to penetrate it. Excuse me, it's easy to penetrate it. Their money, they're too much of a luxury that we have to have put almost everybody focus on becoming a lawmaker. We need to cut it down. Let's pour those money into strengthening our security system, strengthen our healthcare system, so that we will have some form of standard that our officers, whether AFL, police, LDA, immigration, any security firm, to have say, okay, a, a minimum of $300, they can do something. That you pay somebody $90. What did $90 would do? All the main thing of is say, I want $90. Okay, you gave me $90, fine. But within that, before the morning to get out $90, maybe I don't get more than $90. Until then, we are not going anywhere. Let's hear you, Jason.
So I think I was saying, like what Franklin was saying, the fact of the matter is paying someone a lesser money and the money does not coming on time. And looking at the economic system in Liberia, some of those LDA people so when they have family, they need to take it cater to. And majority of those LDA people were not recruited properly. Like a few group of people who wore the black, I don't know, that black suit, they go stay at the checkpoint. Definitely, they spent 3 months there. Definitely, they consider themselves LDA. The fact they come is they're not even on government salary. The people can accept anything that come their way because they were not recruited properly. They were just, I don't know how they call it, just, I don't know, informal. Those informal are not taking pay. Those are the people that can be at the checkpoint in the night. And those people that you are not paying them, how much will it take them for somebody that's carrying drugs around the country? Get them $100 or $200. Somebody that carrying $2 million drugs. How much it will take you to give somebody $1,000 or $2,000 Liberian dollars? Definitely will allow them to pass. And these are the people that are all money our checkpoints in Liberia. Just take a look, like from from Monrovia straight Ganto in the night, like 8 to 9 o'clock. Majority of those people that you'll see at the checkpoint are those other police informal or LDA informal. You look at the population of just LDA personnel in Liberia, majority of them are now on government salary. If they're on government salary, I just recently because back in those days, I feel people who just some of the motorbike rather than after somebody had taken their motorbike from them, definitely wear their black clothes to go stand at the checkpoint. So those people did not go for training. They are not trained. They are just in the system because they want to get something. They want to get living. And people like that, they are like, I don't know, they are vulnerable to anything. They can accept anything that come their way because they are not on a salary. No supervision. They're paid themselves. So the best thing the government can do is to recruit more 30 personnel or security personnel, pay them good sum of money. If you pay those people good money, they will going to work according to your weight and pleasure. But why would you be paying somebody 150 monthly looking at the economic system like Liberia? And that 150 they are paying their way to go to work. They have family to take care of, they have to rent room and all of those things. So at the end result, you see them all on the in the night, even if you see jobs or you see wrong going on, how long will it take them to be brave? So those are some of the issues that Liberia face when it comes to the security sector.
Yeah, so to make this clear, the LDA boss Biago is doing well because since he took over that agency, I think rather late last year, he's doing well, and we must admit to that. He's a trained American security apparatus. He was here. He's doing well in the security, especially with our agency that he took over. But there is work to be done because I don't know whether they're still keeping up with the draw stakes of their agents, their agent themselves. Because I need to be sure who I'm sending on a field. If I'm sending John Brown on a field and John Brown is someone that takes in substance, he or she might definitely want to get involved with those things. Listen, when it comes to the issue of drugs, it is a fast money. So those guys that handles, that are into those deals, they don't talk about small money. At one time I was sitting on an operation. I went to work, my boss said, I'm sending you somewhere. He didn't tell me what it was. I asked, he said, just go there. I know you. I know what you would do. So I went there, and after a certain time, I confiscated about 38 pieces of cocaine. So I called him. He said, "That's what I sent you for." I said, "So you sent me on this. This is what you sent me for. You didn't tell me, but you said just cool." So I came back to the office. He said, "This is what I sent you for." So then he said, "I knew who all I need to send on this kind of operation. If I send somebody else, we might not." And for us, they would just grab it, they would just select somebody randomly and say, "Go do drug tests." If you fail, you come back to the office and they will tell you, say, "We'll repeat this again." But if it comes back negative, then we'll take our next step. So those issues is something that people have to do, especially people that are on that front line. They have to, be tested very often to know how they are stand when it comes to the issue of drugs. Because if I myself can take that thing and I go by me see man, but I say pro I saw now pro I own many here, pro a small thing here. We compromise right there. But I think it should be people that are trusted, within that agency and do thorough training. Very thorough for those people. And the issue of salary. You see, America can spend, the America defense system budget is in billions because they want to have a very strong security force. If you see, America can always say, we are the best, we have the best army around the world. They put money into their defense system because that's the key to hold a country down. I get it. We came from 14-year civil crisis. We got into Ebola. We're in a building period, but our budget issue, portion of it should satisfy our security apparatus. If we can't do it, we stay on a standby when it comes to fighting those things. And Liberians, we have the very few we have, especially when it comes to the army. You see how those guys went to Mali for peacekeeping mission, what they did over there. And Liberians can be called upon now to go to other countries for peacekeeping mission. It shows that we have trained army. The only thing we need to do is to pay attention to what they take home as salary and things. So it's very important to hold down our security. That's the key to us being, fruitful. Now let's have your thought, parting comment on this topic. Then we'll move to the next topic. We're going to Nima County now. Frankie, are you there?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. All of you have said well. And the point that Jason made about police or LGA informers is very much cardinal that we all got to look at. Because if you are sending someone on the front line to go and do such operation, there should be a tracking system. But if a person is going and the person is not in the system of LDA, and something happens in the field there, how will you know that this person is part of you or not? And this person might even behave disorderly because person doesn't have the code of conduct that will govern him or her. And again, the issue of salary that we are talking about is key because if the person is making good amount, while it is true that you may not certify and employees are highly certified, we would think, or that particular person would think that if he or she does something that will go against the ethics, they stand a chance of losing their job. And when they lose a job that is lucrative, their family will suffer and people that depend on them will suffer. That will be in their head to make a decision. But if the person feels that you or she not getting anything better and can take anything and move on, they will move on. I normally see them over a barrel going up and down, but you don't even know where and how they are doing operation. After a few times, they grab few people, put them in pickup truck. After some time, you see the same people back in the community because they feel that nothing is going on and they are not getting anything and they are not being tracked. So it becomes an issue. We need to work on that. If there are volunteers within the LDEA, they should be included, recruited appropriately, and then be given a good salary with good allowance that will help them to do the work.
All right, Jason, let's hear it.
So to conclude, I think the first thing is Liberian security. I don't know whether you got allowance or you don't get good salary. I don't know how
We're
you
talking
get
about
good.
salary, then I learned, then you talking about.
I don't know how you. I don't know you don't get good salary. I talk about allowance. So
Yeah,
the
man.
major challenge here is some the major issue in Liberian security sector is salary disparity. There are some people who are in the security sector are making good sum of money, and some are making lesser money, and those who are making the least money are those are doing the hard work. So people of such, they are the one who getting the information on a daily basis. And what can happen if those people who are working for lesser salary are those one who will go out there and get all the information and arrest those individuals. The sad thing there is you bring those people to the LDA office at time they have connections within the LDA, and the boss will tell you this leave the person, let the person go. If you do this thing one or two times, you discourage the person who is going outside there to fetch informations. Because for me, my understanding about getting drug dealers is by informer. You cannot just track drug dealer just without getting informer. There should be somebody informing you, like party S or party Y is on the other side doing drug trafficking.
Just stop calling the man, man. The man in India, he got still now, now your LIB network. All right, Jason network, I think he received a call. All right, folks, it is the Twah River platform. We are here with another edition, the RiverSide Talk. We started with the mob violence in Liberia, where we take law into our hands, not allowing authorities to deal with issues. But we always say police or government will not do anything because they will bring them back. And in so doing, we will go to work to, assault another person, which I think it is not appropriate. Not even I think, which it is not appropriate. Let the law deal with them, and let's try to, be safer when it comes to, the issue of the person that roll, the person that he arrest the roll, turn the roll over to, the police. They are close with the authority to deal with those issues. Then instead of us taking matter into our own hands, I think it's not appropriate, especially with the video that circulated on Facebook. I think it was yesterday. Those videos is very much dehumanizing. Every human being have a basic right. Yeah, we all have the same basic right. Whether somebody is a zogo, whether somebody is a criminal, that person deserves a right. So if you're having to apprehend them, turn it over to authorities. Let the authorities deal with them. Let's try to get away with this thing that we always do, taking matters into our own hands whenever things happen. That's not how society is built. We can make a difference. We are the mother of Africa, but yet still from the mothership, we came down to square one. And as we begin to build, let's build with all aspects. Let us not just build because we want to build, but let's build and try to include everything into it. I mean, you're in India, what happened to your network? You're not in LRB, now, many already
The current trip, we got a Wi-Fi, so we have to.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So that's
we going to Nimba. There is this very major and big debate in Nima with this issue of Nima unity. And the last time I spoke about it, I said Nima unity is good. We want Nima unity. But equally so, the Nima unity we're talking about, it's something that is big and deep as well. And I think, in my own opinion, it's possible that that Nima unity works, and again, it's not possible. And the reason I say it's not possible, I will come back with my reason. But let's hear you first, Jason. I know Franklin and I have been on this topic, so let's hear you, Jason.
So, like, it's a good thing to say Nimba unity, but this unity can only be achieved when certain group of people are benefiting from the unity. It is not holistic. Like, if you see some group of people in Nimba have a ideology like one they are in power, Nimba should be united, or one they align with certain political party that they are benefiting from squarely, all Nimba should go in support of them. But when you flip on their side and somebody try to take their other side, definitely a core commotion like, oh, because I'm on the other side, you are not on the other side, you don't want me. So this all you can only see Nimba unity when certain group of people are at the rim of power, they are enjoying, they don't care for people. But the fact of the matter there is unity cannot be based on separations or based on interest. The unity should be like for everyone to benefit. Like for the past regime, there's some group of people who was in the rim of power. They were discussing about unity. Let's support the other person because the other person is behind the person and is in good positions. And the same person that was in a good position, but he doesn't care to see how best he will empower the buyers to be in that positions. He's empowering people who align with the idea. How do I support you in my own mind? We know the system in Liberia is based on who knows you. How do you want me to align my ideology with yours when in your own mind, even if you succeed tomorrow, you'll never push me at the top? So on the basis of that, you see people going to diverse background, people taking their side because they felt if this side win, they have something to get, or they have something that will take care of them and their family. So for Nema United the whole, I think it has to be it's something that is a fun thing. The only time I see Nema United can be like achieve is during the county meet. That's the
Mhm.
time you can see all the alliance coming together. They
Yeah.
can put politics aside, they put all the difference aside to support the counties. But when it comes to politics, everybody take their side. That's the time you can hear all the bad things, people saying all the negative things about one another. So the only time for me, the only time I can see Nima United is through the county meet. That where you can see Nima supporting their county fully. They can put all the politics aside. But the unity of Nima County as it stands is something that is debatable, that it cannot be achieved easily until it cannot. Let's assume if everyone will not be certified at the same time, but people always have grievances, we always have dissatisfactions with how things are proceedings. So before you get that unity to be achieved, the only time I see is through football or any other thing. But when it comes to politics or when it comes to supporting someone at this stage, like for example, the current vice president, people are in him, I wouldn't align with him. Their
Mhm.
intention is for this person to come in power. They will do all they might to support to fight against him, but they die forgetting to know that he's the second most powerful person in the country. Now people are not looking at that. What they are looking at is somebody that align with them that will come to power to empower them. So in that perspective, the people that on the other side will feel, this side is the right side we're supposed to be. So you have this certification, you have mixed view in all those analysis people will be making because some issues, some people are benefiting squarely. Now people will be supporting Nimba Unity, they'll go on the side, other side, while other people who are not beneficiary will say this side is not good, it's not Nimba Unity because it's not my time. Yeah.
Yeah. So the outline you brought forth is your analysis is well taken. And Franklin, let's hear you. All right. I mean, okay.
Okay. I think Jason said well. Yeah. You rightly said, and there where myself I have been thinking, and even today, the funny thing is someone now discuss the same thing, just a casual conversation. I realized about Nima solidarity. I certain group of people believe that.
Y'all gonna move from slow solidarity to Nima solidarity now?
Oh yeah, central to the yeah, yeah. No, as for me, I'm not been supporting that kind of strong solidarity they have been in. But for us in 2023, we heard a lot about NEMA solidarity around here. And the chat room was even created, and people added us. And the solidarity went on. But I don't think the solidarity is solidarifying because uh, people that are at the helm of power, they no longer want to even see people who supported them that came to power to be real in our decision making or to real to our conscience. Some of our people will believe that they are going to bring change in Lima County within the youth community. I think they have been the one on that a lot of people complaining from. And that's going to play in 2029. I tell anybody because people that we do our survey, those of us that are not in power, that don't align with power or political base, we do our independent analysis and we get to know that things will be tough. When you talk about NEMA solidarity, things will be tough because people don't want to. I think this boy called Mayaka Wundan, he launched a program on Facebook hating at those people that are in power. When I say hating, it means breaking them up for people to be able to see how well they are relating to other people. And if you could go under those posts at the time, you could see the reactions from the Nima youth community. You could see that the downtrodden, the children are helped to bring some people to power. They are no longer seeing light. And these are the same people that will also be making decisions. And our senior brothers or sisters will go there again and fool them that we need to be united. We need to work together. We need to make this decision to affect us positively. But at the end result, do your statistics and know how many of the youth that were on the front line today in school or vocational school, how many of them that are doing short-term job, and how many of them you could see that they are feeding their family. I know of a brother that sacrificed a whole time, 2023, sacrificed a whole life, but today he's just sitting down in his home riding back. The senior people that they all exchange number, that they all talk to, that they all discuss issues, that slept the same map, they whatsoever. These children, this particular person I'm talking about, is no longer getting anything from those people. The dividend is not there. So how do you expect people to be united when you use them for your own benefit? If we all come together for one goal and be able to achieve it together, and everybody be able to get a benefit equally, if not equally, at least to a certain level, I think it's going to be better. It's going to help the society because you push someone ahead for a person to be able to push you. And let me get this. While it is true, people continually condemn the education sector of Liberia, Liberia is also making headway in education when it comes to teaching and other things. People are learning, and we got a lot of qualified people around here. But you see that the very qualified people are not getting a job because they are not connected to the higher up. And most of us, or most of them from NIMA, how many of them you see them getting job that they need? They go to public offices and people churn them out because they did not say, I will say, because they were not there to do what they were to do, or maybe financially they didn't contribute, but they were learning. And today things tough. So Nima United should be done, and I think there's a saying that let justice be done to all men, but it should not only be in your favor for you to consider it a unity. Thank you.
Yeah, so not in your favor. The thing I kept saying that the issue of Nima unity, it sounds very good, but it's deep and it goes deep down, in Nima. This whole thing, right? All of us here cannot single-handedly agree to one thing. It's very difficult, and that is the case with Nima. You have roughly about 3 to 4 who are on the top. When I say on the top, I'm talking about who have presidential ambition. One has to do with the current vice president. The other one is Honorable Musa Hassan Bilete. You have Councilor Tiamu Gonglo there. And also, I think usually Jeremiah Wapos comes around with his party and then he will drive back. But there are 3 major candidates from Nima who, are presidential materials. And out of that 3, they all have supporters. Right now, quote unquote, I call it CMC wants to, take over MDR. When I say take over MDR, in a sense that they want to, make CMC, Nima base, which though they are Nima based, but you look at it in a sense that they always say MDR is not in the picture. MDR is I know, so what verb, subject verb or something, adverb to UP. Now, CMC got her supporter, and when it comes to Nima, you see that helping verb.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Helping verb. So when it comes to Nima, you see that UP have more base, and then MDR also has strong base in Nima. So now, all of these people to come together under one umbrella is a very difficult thing. Musa idea is different. Councilor Gonglo idea is different. The idea the VP Kun is bringing on is different. So at the end of the day, we all will have diverse views on those issues that we are talking about. Now, the CMC folks, you have people that Armstrong Govaslepo who don't know how to talk. Anything that comes in your mouth, you say. Those people will be at the back and always say, this thing can't happen. They meant like this, they meant like that. We're not going to do it just because of what personal feeling. I have followed Goba for a very long time in Nima politics. When things is not in Goba way, it's not in Goba's favor, you become the enemy right there. The election, the senatorial election that we went to, how you call it, we went to court that was between now VP Kun and Ide Gongro Way. Who instigated that? I will go back. It's not, I'm not accusing it's something point blank. He said it. You ask anybody anymore. Go back said the VP sort of gave him smart thing. He gave it. He said, okay, but then see you in court. That's how we went to court. He engineered Manangongro way that this thing that people cheated you. And the election was very clear. Now, I'm bringing this up in a sense that all of us, the idea of Nima United is very good, very welcoming. But if we want to do that, we have to put away our egos and just speak up on one common point that at the end result is Nima that we're fighting for. Okay, go to Lofa. Lofa holds the presidency, and Lofa holds key hierarchies in the CDC. Another son of Lofa established a party, Sir Joseph. Now, Sir Joseph got a party. CDC is there. You had Jefferson Koji, Thomas Farah was part of them. Now Thomas Farah drew back from them. He's leaning towards the ruling establishment and other folks. But then you realize that at the end of the day, their common goal is what? Lofa. So until then, if we Nimbayans can say the only that our common goal here, the common denominator is Nema County, and it's Nema that we are talking about, and put away our egos aside, the Nema unity is possible. But until then, I see just a thought that we will continue to lecture and bring out this series every single day, but it won't come to fruition because we all not willing to accept one another and say, my man, politics is season of politics time over there, unite and build Nima. Because I want small thing in my pocket. I want to be on the top. I'm not there. And John Brown is there. And John Brown too will not want me to come closer, maybe quote unquote, I come and take away their job. These are things that are affecting us when it comes to Nima unity. Until then, we deal with all of that. I don't see us going anywhere. So much for you, Jason.
Yeah, like he said, some of the issues as relates to Nimba Unitics, majority of the issues, some of our politicians within the context. Where in the world will you be a political leader or an influential person in Nimba? But you have the mindset that some of your supporters will be screenshotting like comments, sending it to you personally in that mind, you taking it like against someone.
Mm-hmm.
How some of our politicians in Nima behave, but they present themselves to the public that yes, indeed they are saints, they are a good person, but deep down their heart they have something in mind for you. So for the basis, majority of their supporters have already like man said, just in case if a person succeeds to this post, will not allow you to use a surface around the person. And majority of our leaders in Nimba, I'm not just disputing for the, but you look at this entire circle of Nimba leadership, the only dealer I've seen that make too many young people independent is the current vice president. With all due respect, he's the only person that made too many youth in Nimba independence that have resources that can even say extend hands to their friends. But besides that, the majority that knows, they just want for people to be behind them, like I will say all of the time. The fact that you are not behind them, definitely they will not even say think about you. But not they are not just doing it because they don't think that you need to excel and take care of your family. The mindset they have is you be sharing for them, they send their children to school, their children graduate, they come back, you be serving their children. Why in the world will you behave like that if you say you are a leader, you are a leader but you cannot produce? But all you want for people to be behind you every day and night, like as if to say they don't have anything going. So most of those leaders are in email, they are not productive. Some majority, they cannot peep, they cannot point at this. I'm the one who made this person. They cannot. Some of those people who support them just for natural love, they are supporting them. But majority of them, they are just ego. They are egocentric. Everything is just because if it's not there, you cannot be anybody. Some of them, they have all it takes to help, but every day they don't have money. But once it comes to using you to abuse leaders for their base, for their sake, they will do it. But you cannot see their children or their daughter doing that thing. But they use those poor people children to insult, and at the end result, the same people that they are using to insult within 1 or 2 months, you will see both of them together.
Yeah.
Why you have been insulting? Where are you now? I mean, you have run your own reputations or your own career you have built over years. But the people that the person that you are fighting for and the person you are fighting, both of them are sitting down together, Danny and Wani. So the best thing we can ever do for the youth, currently the youth of these days, we just have to be careful on how we run our politics. Other than that, we'll be use our tools and later on it dump us.
Yeah, so and that's why I spoke up the last time, and I was speaking directly to us, the youth. And it has become a norm now that we all think that the easy way, to be relevant in society is to get into politics and maybe insult one or two person on radio or on social media will gain our popularity. We're not taking into consideration that we are the not even future, we are the next leader of Liberia. And if we can't conduct ourselves well, what do you expect that will come after the generation that is to come after us? Theirs will be very worse because we didn't start on a mark that will, give them the the setting that this is what our fathers did when they were alive for this house. But we have, we have gotten to a system that if I work, maybe call a few gentlemen and say, "Oh, gentlemen, yes, Martin here. I want to be there. This guy here, he's not doing anything. Maybe on a romance, he's not doing anything. I want to let's push the message and getting out of office and then." So if I get 1 or 2 cents or somebody like that, the only thing next now is I become bossman for this person, and this person will always keep, attacking on romancy to make him look bad to the society. And while I take the glory, at the end of the day, I become more purpose to do what I want to do, which I think we, the youth now, should, try to redirect our minds and take our minds off politics, having a thought that this all is not about politics. I can take different direction and try to make it in life. But I need not to be a politician to make it in life, because there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee that when you're a politician, or you were born to become a lawmaker or maybe a senator, anybody can become that. So there's no guarantee that one specific person got to have to be this person. And I think if we cannot do that, especially since we're talking about Nema, if we the youth of Nema, if we cannot do that, I think we are not ready for the Nema unity that we're speaking about. And if we cannot embrace one another as the same people, same brother and sister, we are not ready. And one thing that always baffles me is that it is the only, two dominant, in fact, the three dominants in Nema, Gil, Mana, and then Mandingo. But we still have people from Pele, I call it the B people, not B, but Grandians. We still have those people with us that live there, but only their group. We the only people that can really, get hard time in Nema. Every day, Nema division. We gotta divide Nema. We gotta do the one. They one gotta happen because ain't go John Brown way, ain't go Mary Brown way. We want to divide. But until then, we can get rid of all of these things and say, what we're fighting for is one Nema, one goal. Let's make this work. I don't see us going anywhere with Nema division. And the VP, like you mentioned, the VP, when the 2020 Central by-election was coming, I did analysis and a couple of my friends said, "Oh, that won't work." I said, "Listen," said, but then Senator Johnson was alive. I thought Senator Johnson will not pull anybody against VP Kun. Kun will run on PYJ ticket, and Kun will be the only candidate. But Kun will win Nema senatorial race. You know why? The reason is when you get to the Gil belt, there is more votes in the Gil settlement. When you get to the Manan belt, the vote as there is not compared to the Gil settlement. Now, places like Ganta and Secretary is a battleground. Ganta, Secretary, Standing Quarter, they are battleground. Manan Way will get vote in some part of the Manan belt. She will dominate in the Manan belt, but then when she gets to the Gil belt, she won't go anywhere. VP Kun will come second in the Manan belt, and then he will dominate in the Gil setting. Exactly, that's what happened. So at the end of the day, he picked up. He became second in the Manan area and became one in the Gil setting. And at the end of the day, he became senator because the vote from those areas were higher than the vote. Now, the person who picked up in the Manan belt, she didn't do well in the Gil settlement. She was all the way bottom. So the only person that came second to VP Kun was Councillor Yelu. So based on that, you realize that he picked up vote and became the winner. But when it comes to the way in which we embrace things, we issue out things. Since then, VP Kun have his own voice with them. He has helped a lot of people. He has helped a lot of young people. And those guys that he has with them, they too are helping another people in society. So his base is growing right there. So the issue of Nema unity, when you say John Brown not doing this, everybody it's a very long rope that is entangled everywhere until we can cut those pieces and just say, let's pull all the branches out and focus on one thing and do it, which is Nima. We ain't going anywhere. Yeah.
Yes, that's the right thing because majority of those people, majority of the politicians are in impact. You only see them surfacing when election is around. They don't pick up calls. They are not involved into the youth. But how can you expect the youth to come your way when politics pies you esteem yourself for them? Esteem yourself for them. So the Nima unity is for me. I feel it's a mirage because one is not in your case. Definitely, you're not even to support that. People who are benefiting now will be the champion behind Nima unity. But those who are from the other side of the river, when you talk about Nimba Unity, it's just like you are choking them with Nino because they are not getting any dividends.
No.
Nimba, they are not getting the dividends because people who are championing Nimba Unity are those who are beneficiary to the regime that they are benefiting from. So the system in Nimba is just something that is like people will be trapped into it. Like one is in their case, they will be the gospel. Everybody will be talking all the Google things. But if you look at it, I know one person cannot do all, but when you look at Nimba politics, the way politics is playing Nimba, I think the one of the influential person. When you take the from the list of Johnson now is his vice president because he had bases
Yeah.
all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, you said since we know how Senator Johnson not use the only face because his issues Senator Johnson was loved by the Nibians, but for the
Yep.
vice president, his impact is all over. He's helping at the same time those behind him are stretching hand to their friends too. And you look at the entire district, they are now represented in the district. When you do your statistics, who are influentials, who are those lawmakers that have been helping. I just my new people, my new group of people who are helping, but the rest they are not doing anything. They are just self-centered. Everything is about them. They don't want to extend hands to students. They are not giving scholarship to anyone. Look in the district. Look at District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4. How many of those lawmakers gave international scholarship to students? Probably if you do your calculation, probably I think, if I'm not mistaken, it'd be District number 4 lawmaker.
Yeah.
Because he's the only person, he's a youth. If you do your calculations, I don't know what happened to the scholarship back then from the first from the lawmaker that on Massey took over from because we were told that was scholarship for Twah students to go America. Where is the
Mm-hmm.
scholarship now? We
I
don't
know
get a
about that
scholarship.
scholarship.
We've been talking at all the times. At that time, we were in Liberia talking about it. Where is the scholarship? And people that were supporting them at that time, once you try raising the issue, it means you are anti to that person. So if leaders don't want to have oppositions or don't want to have opposing views to some of their leadings or some of their affairs, definitely that's where it will lead into because at the end of the day, all those supporters that are talking behind you at the end of the day, one the peridot flip on the other side, the other person will go on the other side. The fact that they have influence, definitely people will say, hey, my brother come on the other side, we'll get something for you on it, we'll get something to you on the other side.
Yeah.
At the end result, you'll be sit alone and nothing will be able to do. So the best thing our leaders have to do is to listen to those that appointed, I mean, or those that voted for them, their employer. Not to listen to a few group of people because they are around you. The best people you should listen to are people who elected you, people who voted for you, not people that you appointed to work for you. Because when you appoint them, they will not be fair enough to you if you are doing wrong. They'll always be like sycophantic to just whether you are wrong, they always say, Bossman, that hey, you are doing good. At the end
Mm-hmm.
result, when you get back in the district, the latches you will see, the latches are not the latches they will receive. And anything happen, that's politics now. They'll go on the other side, as you can see now in my politics.
Yeah.
So the first thing our politicians need to do is to listen to those that appointed them or those that voted for them instead of them listening to their circle because one of the major issues we see in Nima politics, the majority of the politicians believe in they say. Once they have two or three people that they confide in them, they come from information and say, okay, that what John Paul say about you, definitely that leader have bad mindset for you already. They don't want to see you anywhere. So that's a bad politics in Nima. For me, if any politician in Nima, probably they want to get into to at least if you get 2 to 3 lawmakers like in Nima, like on MMCA, to send at least few students out of the country, that's a very good initiative because when they come back, they'll be independent. They will not be depending on anybody. The fact that I be giving somebody 150, 100 every day, that's not every day. Make them independent, make them to, I don't know how they can say, make them to know how to fish for themselves, not be feeding them every day and night. So I think it is a good idea that lawmakers or policymakers within our countries should try to invest in the youth because the youth will be the one to take over the country tomorrow.
Yeah, so let me just throw light on what you say about the scholarship with former representative Gompu Kagon. The scholarship is real, all right? It's truth. But what happened during his time was politics got into it. And the politics that got into it was that, if you're dealing with the white people, they don't want two-face. And the very same people that claiming today they want to be lawmaker, they want to be this, they want to do that, they were the one that, started renting the institution, giving false information. The scholarship process went on smoothly. Liberia, as a country, does not have a TOEFL system in Liberia currently. It was there at Don Bosco, but they stopped. It's not there anymore. Now, those selected candidates, even though we had, I call it coronavirus that store everything, but after the coronavirus ended from our side here, the talk resumed. Now, like yesterday, we were talking about our reading system and this and that. The school wanted the children to take TOEFL tests. We don't have TOEFL in Liberia. The only place that TOEFL is administered is in Ghana. So you're talking about 10 students to pay their way back and forth to Ghana on plane, the hotel they will be there for, the food they will eat. Now, all of that we took into consideration and said, this is, a burden, and it will be a burden on the children. So what we do is, let's write the school and ask them, instead of the children going to Ghana to go do it, if they can send a test to the embassy in Liberia or send it to an institution that they trust in Liberia so the children can be able to write the test. There where we stay. Now, institution to identify to write this test in Liberia, it has become an issue. The school said they can't send it to the embassy. But if it is institution, we recommended some few institutions to them. Say, okay, you can do Nima University because you have an American trained educator down there. You have Dr. Duo with other folks who have foreign education background. You can do it there. We also say LRCC. We also recommend ABC University. So those institutions, we send it to them. Now, the institution that is selected, but they have not, the president of that institution have not given the clearance or the go ahead or respond to them is LRCC. So that's the case with the student scholarship that you're talking about. It exists. We're still working on it. We're fighting on it. In the scholarship committee, I'll bring in here, like I promised the public, I'll bring in here so that we can talk about this. But the whole issue is, how politics in Liberia, people talk, started, they were not in Liberia, but they were in, some of them were in other countries. They started writing the institution. Some went to the institution page and took their information and spread all around, which at the end of the day, that person got blocked and their account was, seized and everything. So that's the story behind that scholarship thing. So it's still a work in progress. We're working on it. But like you said, out of honest who send students in Rwanda, we have not heard of any other lawmakers who have sent a Nimbayans or a group of students from Nima to India or maybe other countries to school, which I think if we're talking about youth empowerment, right? These are direction. Now, you If you come from complete your program and go back and you think you come and go stand behind somebody, one man hold it, I'll see, hey, I'll see, aluta, other one. You think you come and go do it? You have gotten an experience outside of Liberia and you see things differently. So based on that, your approach to issue or the way you want to proceed in life will be quite different. And these are things that some of us are calling for. Let's empower our youth that when they will be independent instead of standing by our door every single day. If I am giving somebody maybe $150 every, let's just say you come to my house every day, I give you 5,000 LD or maybe 2,000 LD. Every day you'll be there. Gee, I get copy to go more. The money you continue to get to the person, I get copy or I didn't have all the things. That money, if you can empower such a person, he or she will be an independent person instead of independence. And that's what we're talking about. But we're not seeing it in with our lawmakers when it comes to NIMBA. And at the end of the day, everybody have his or her own thing to do, which will hinder the whole NIMBA unity that we're talking about. Franklin, it's over to you. Let's hear you before you can run away again.
Yeah, I think you and myself have talked this before, even a personal discussion, that for me, I don't believe in going to lawmakers or even minister or even people that we know personally to ask them for maybe a daily bread.
Yeah.
Yes, we are saying those who are doing it, they are wrong. They are doing it because of what the society has imposed on them. So if we can have people in our society, especially the lawmakers, to come up with policies that will improve the system, that people won't have to go to somebody's doorstep to go beg. Okay, take for example, I think I heard that Honorable Anthony Williams is sponsoring a bill that if you are sick and go to hospital first before they talk about me. And I really appreciate him on that. If that bill is passed and we are seeing the impact of it, if there will be no corruption again at the hospital for people to do who knows you, it will be a very good thing for us. If my mother is sick, or if I am sick, or if anybody is sick and that person is carried to hospital, I think the burden on lawmaker or any other people in society will reduce. Because first of all, you got to carry your sick patient to be treated, and when that person is treated, then you go now and look for the finance. Not where you will go and say deposit 20,000, but then in your house there is no 5,000 for you to eat. In that case, you will go run straight to your representative. By the time you run to your representative, the mentor didn't take your call, or the mentor that won't even help you, then that person becomes an enemy right there. You see, or your wife is pregnant, or your girlfriend is pregnant, you carry that person to hospital, and the person needs operation or blood right away. And then you go, you don't have the fresh cash to be able to deposit. And you have to go to somebody who is in higher authority to bear the person. The person doesn't have it. Then right away, animation right there starts. And it becomes an issue. But if we have all of these things, it will help us. And another thing, I think Priscilla Abraham or someone talk about that I also appreciate is about establishing the student loan in Liberia. This is one thing that I have cried for. This is one thing that I have yearned for. Some of us, we don't have the biking to go to school, but we have the passion to go to school. And you have the student loan that I can go and sign up for it, and the requirements are lesser for me. I don't think I will need to go to a senior brother who is in power to be able to pay my school fee when he's not even willing to do that. The only thing is for me to go there, sign up for the loan, and then go to school, And if God bless me, I graduate and doing something, then I pay the people back. I said it before. We have the AM Douglaty here. You have medical students in that school, and government is fully responsible for them. But you got other students that are struggling to go to school, they don't have it, and you turn your back on them. Is that justice? I said no. The issue of climate change in Liberia is getting hard, it's glaring. We are seeing it in every sector. If
Mhm.
you have a climate change to impact our society, you will not have food security. The nutrition you're talking about, you will not have it. You have stunted population. You will not be able to have a good health. And there where you will see that many people will rush to hospital and the burden on the hospital will increase. So if you have students in environment that are struggling to go to school and government is not paying attention to them, but you only pay attention to pharmaceutical students and students who do medicine, I think you are destroying yourself because the burden on the hospital will be more and there will be nobody out there to do advocacy or awareness or to do things that will cut down the impact on the hospital. If we have all of these things in place, I don't think representatives will be able to block us in the country. We only need a system running. The responsibility of lawmakers is adjustly make law, have your oversight. You are not even there to go and pay somebody's hospital bill. So these are things that when they are in place, we will be able to work on them and people will be able to know the value of existence in this world. America you're talking about today. I think someone said if we were to take all of Liberians and send them to America, and take all of Americans and send them to Liberia, I think people who went to America will want to come back to Liberia because the system in America will also be polluted. You will see garbage all around the street. Oh yeah, that's the true story about it. You will see garbage all around America, but then you will see Liberia shining again. The only thing is for us to change the mindset. Then we'll see that we will be able to develop ourselves and our system will work well for us.
Yeah, so this all the issue you spoke about, the student loan and the other issue. Now, here's my take on that. It's a very fine, good idea to introduce that in Liberia, right? It's good, but the people, that will have to put that into law, I don't think they are ready to do that, which is the lawmakers, because there should be a law that will govern that. If somebody, how many of them willing to sponsor said that bill, say let's introduce a student loan system in Liberia? Because the thing is, the way it is done here, the education ministry has full oversight over the student loan process. Now, it's only during Trump administration that the education ministry gave the power to each individual state when it comes to the student loan and thing. But now, if you are a federal student, because we have a couple of them, you have financial aid, which is free. You have grant, which is free. Scholarship, I would know is free. But you have federal, and then you have, some the federal. We have two kinds of loan in that. You have the subsidies and unsubsidized. So the subsidies, you'll be in school, and your interest will be paid by the federal. The unsubsidized, your both principal and interest, it will be added onto that money. So to have all of that, we hope and pray that our men will think in that direction. It will be like cutting down costs for them, easing the burden on them, and then you allocate those funds into Ministry of Education covers. We have somebody can qualify for that and have a tracking system, because right now, as I say, it's just that in a system I have continuing education. But if not, hopefully by July, they expect me to start paying back by doing continuing education. So they ain't got problem with me. But the moment the day I cross down and say, I find job, forget it. I'll see letter to my house. You gotta start pay our money. So because they have system, they have process that they can track all students and know who's owing, who's not owing, how much you owe, and this and that. Every quarter they will send email to you that this is the updated loan and this is the amount you owe. So we hope that those ideas are good, that they will listen to and buy and create those avenues for Liberian students. You know, it will ease the burden. If I have a system and I meet the criteria, I can go and say and sign up for student loan and go to school. You already have information on me. I start working, I pay. But I think it's a long run thing in Liberia, and maybe when the day all of us are sitting here and say we are getting into government, maybe we'll pass that law. But I see it with our current men that are in our house. I see it. Our men, the only thing after is people the same process behind them. I will say, hey, Amanda, wait till they get 5 or 10 out of people they pass. That's what the attention on right now. I visited the house. What was frustrating to me was, man, come up bathroom. The man, I got water. Then that student loan bill coming over, forget everything. Yes, go ahead.
If you talk about a student room, how can that be possible? Because those are some of the attributes they can use to get into power.
Yeah.
So you have 2 minute ways to create an avenue, like people will be standing tech to be behind them. So for common example, you talk about road rehabilitation. The government is currently trying to purchase some yellow machines so this will be in the various counties.
Mhm.
These are easier way that those guys can get into power, because it will approaching those rainy season or the roads is deplorable. Someone who want to contest within that district will just go and pay for like yellow machine. The person that is on with campaign already waiting so the people can elect him. So if you try to bring like student room in our country, that's a good initiative. But if it is active, definitely those people will not have a lot of students behind them to say you have to send me to school, you have to give me financial aid, all of those things. So in their mind, it will be something that will cripple their leadership ability, or it will not have the avenue to have too many people coming behind them for opportunity to ask them for. Some of the lawmakers can be happy, like soon money people just go and stand by their gate.
You know,
You see, yeah,
that's crazy, man. Some money, somebody standing by your gate. You feel comfortable. Somebody standing by your gate.
They will wake up in the morning, so they will wake up in the morning to see you, not speak to you. They just pass the gate in the car, they go.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they behave. They feel proud to do that. People come and stand by your gate in the morning, or they call you say, come to my house. But when you see them, you don't speak to them. You just get in your eyes, say, I'm rushing, I'm getting late for work. You frustrate another person that very day. With all,
Yeah, I know you right there. I had an experience on that, right? I was in 12th grade, and we have written Fumba Salif. So was it Fumba Salif? One of those Salif. His house is around is on RR Highway. Now I was at Kennedy High School, the new Chinese building. So we had a project and we wrote him, and he accepted the letter. So after a certain time, we grouped the student leadership, said, okay, let's go to the main house. We went there for the first time. They said, oh, the man not here. He said, y'all should come tomorrow. So we said, okay. Tomorrow morning, we made in the morning, we made our plan. We said, gentlemen, let all be here very early before he goes out. We said, fine. We dress up. Soon morning, we all gathered to that main house. You know what I mean? The man came from his car. He came from inside. He saw that guy in the car. He pulled up, and then called his security and told his security, tell him, man, I will send whatever I have. I will send whatever I have. I will send whatever I have, and that was how. I made that determination. And that was how I made that determination that from that day, I will not go to nobody's house again.
The disrespect can be too much. That's
Yeah.
the only issue we have. The disrespect can be too much to the extent that so you not expect those guys that want for people to come and stand at their gate in the morning for to apologize or to beg them. So to create an avenue because if you create avenues like students or people have access to creating what they want or getting what they want, definitely they will not come after you and
Mm-hmm.
you will not have people. So this if a government create avenue that people like I can normally say people can get into protest, say let's go protest. If you see Liberians or the youth very basic in the morning going to do one or two things that will get $5, you think you get time for somebody to get $5 go protest? You'll never
Nope.
do that. Once you say it now, you're not doing anything. How much somebody get 10 of them, go protest, you'll be the first person to go ahead. Because they are creating a mindset that you will be like, they say, when who control your somebody control you. You don't get
Mm-hmm.
resources. I broke as
And
you are, somebody can't get, you
you can't
cannot
say bad
afford
about that
somebody
person.
somebody you cannot afford somebody is just trying to get $10 just for like 1 or 2 hours. I mean, let go, you'll be ahead. So the major issue is Liberia is we are in that country, we don't get job, we don't do anything. So anything can follow our eyes. Anything. Once somebody wake up in the morning and say, let's go do this one, we are all ahead going. So
Yeah.
that's some of the problem. Well,
Yeah.
if we have
Yeah.
16 that everyone is basically doing one or two things, I don't think somebody will just get in and say, man, let's go protest, or let's go do this one. What the
Yeah.
time you get now? You
I
don't have
agree
time
with
for
that.
all of it.
Yeah. All right, folks, it is the Twah River TV, and we have had some interesting conversation here tonight. Started with more violence, creating awareness, and let's try to hand over things to authority to deal with it. And Nima Unity was another topic that we touched on here tonight, and the issue of fighting drugs in Liberia. These are key, topic that we spoke on here tonight. I know it's around 4 a.m. in India, and the Indian man gotta go to rest. So, folks, it is Twah River. The just check your message. I was already sent you something. So, um, we will be here tomorrow. As the Indian man take leave from us, we'll be here tomorrow again, and we will still be here till 7 o'clock tonight. He's going to go. Franklin, let's hear you. Let's hear your parting comments.
Okay. As we were saying, the student loan issue, our brothers or sisters on Capitol Hill would not always want to dive into them because it will weaken their strength, as Jackson rightly said. I think that what I was trying to say later on, and he came in to talk. And if you look at, for example, the free tuition policy that was introduced by former President Weah, it brought down the whole of soup on campus and other lawmakers because Mighty Colley and others were campaigning against the free tuition policy because that was the power they were using. Almost everybody would wait for also scholarship, and also were heavily controlled by soup. So they will go and raise 1 million, even NUSA. Those are things that destroy NUSA, UNUSA, all of those people. Because people were no longer going for meetings. You know that you have your school fee all ready to pay. Why would you waste your time to go and wait in line for form for this, that? So, but if they really want to help the country, they will forgo themselves and then put the country first and be able to put in policies that will help. But they are thinking that if this is done, they won't get people crying on them. For example, we used to have Emmanuel Nukwe, Honorable Emmanuel Nukwe, right around us here. During the 2017 election, that guy was having $500 note, the bill. He was having plenty of money, bags, according to people allegedly. He will go and use it and give it to people. You go to that man, get from money to evening, people there. Even myself, I went there along with somebody. because it was our organization. They said we should go there and go talk to him but we went out there, we stood there was no way. I went there because of organization, but individually I was not pleased to go. And even my leadership in our alumni association, people always say, let's go to Capitol building, let's go to Capitol building. But for me, I don't want to venture into it, because if you go there, it will be just like a waste of time. It happened to us last semester. We went in that building to go ask for help. All of the lawmakers we gave our letters to, all of the big names we gave our letters to, up to now, no one had called. And the people who went to do a follow-up, other people only told them, because they know us personally, why you have not come to my house? That's my only disappointment in you, to go to your house. You are not inviting us. We just get out and go. Just to stand at your door? No. We went there as professional people, though we are students. We went there to also ask for assistance. So from that day, I haven't gone anywhere. Not that I don't need assistance. But all of these things we are saying is, if people see the need, once you say communication, and somebody sees your communication, be realistic to yourself. Be real to your very self that I receive a communication from the person. If you want to reply, you reply. If you don't want to, don't pretend. Leave
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
yes, we'll come back to you, Franklin. Jason, you want to give your parting comment?
Thank you very much, Sue, and thanks to Frankie for tonight's show. To conclude tonight from my end, let me say thanks to all those that are monitoring, and let's keep following the RiverSide Talks. We comes from Monday straight to Sunday, and we hope that if you are finding our show, please share. Please click the share button and be sharing so we can have more followers. So I'm hoping to be here tomorrow, and thank you very much for the time. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
All right, thank you. Go sleep. Go continue your few hours. Yeah, folks, it is Twah River TV. We are here again, and it is a fruitful discussion. Franklin, before we go, the points you raised, Elias, is very important. And I think if you want to help somebody in a professional society, if you receive communication from somebody, your duty is to respond to the person as a professional person. Oh, I received your communication, but you don't expect me to come to your house. I think it has become a norm. I think those guys always expect people to go to their houses and continue to beg them on a daily basis. Excuse me, thank God I'm not in Liberia. But from that story I had, and when I was still at now Nima University, we engaged, we were the student leader at the time for district number 4. And somebody have promised us, and that person had political ambition. So he has promised us, I will do this, I will do that, just to get all the students on his side. But at the end of the day, the first promise didn't come true. Some of us have a second thought. And somebody have also promised us, say, well, you guys come to Ganta and meet me, I'll be there. Man, the leadership woke up in the morning, got ready to hit Ganta. While getting ready to go, according to him, he was coming from Grand G that way. While getting ready to go, we call, the phone rang, no response. We said, let's just go, maybe he's driving. We came to Ganta, we spent the entire day in Ganta waiting, we didn't find the person. So these are my experiences when it comes to going to those people's houses to beg them, or even going to their offices to beg them. And it is from that background that I say I'm not going to, go to anybody's house again for help. If you want to do it, you will do it. But I think the best thing to do as a professional person, once somebody gave you communication, is to respond. But you don't expect me to say, oh, my only disappointment is why you can't come to my house. If I come to your house, I will be part of those people that are forcing the category every day to your house, and then you will come now and talk will be coming. You giving talk, you insulting people intelligently because you boss me, everybody got to laugh. But it is a serious thing, folks. I think to empower fellow Liberians is to, we have to empower them. You're the lawmaker, got to empower them. Once y'all do it, the time somebody taking to sit to your houses 3 hours, 4 hours, if there is something that person is doing, he or she will not come stay to your house for that time because they know they got to go somewhere to go work and make their own money out of it. But we create an avenue where we think coming to our houses every early in the morning is good, and then we just come from inside, getting our car, go straight boom. We're not thinking of what this. So it's important. Frankly, any other thought? Let's wrap it up.
Okay, so I think I'm done, and we all just have to work together and then make our society a better society, full of envy and jealousy, that we will lift one another and see to the end that all of us will achieve our goals. If not, at least try your best that someone will praise you tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, don't go. Well, after the live, we'll have to stay back to talk. Yes, I agree with you, Franklin. I definitely agree. So, folks, this is how the lineup will be. Hopefully, next week, we have a couple of people who will be on our plate, on our show. A couple of from now to next week. We will give the full lineup tomorrow when the schedule is finalized. But we will be speaking back to ABC University, and we'll also be speaking to the Belige Comprehensive Health Center. We'll be speaking to Harrison Bowl again, and we'll be speaking to a couple of people. Hopefully next week and week after next, we have some lineup, and we, asking everybody to follow us as we present and talk about society matters. So it's a thank you to all of you who have followed us here tonight. It's the RiverSide Talk, the Twah River TV, the original one. Anyone after this is fake. This is the original Twah River. I want to say thank you to you all for following us. Do have a blessed day.